We are live. Yes, sorry, technical difficulties. Everything is fine. Everything is good. Steve, how's day one of vacation at home?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. I hope you're enjoying this humid, extremely humid weather. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what it is around the world. I think we need a bit more rain because it's been pretty humid. And whenever you're ready, you tell me, Steve, and away we go.
Don't wait for me. Go.
All right. Just the way AJ Styles tells his opponent, Steve. They don't want none. Just the way people see Milan. They don't want none. Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan, Europa League Milan, and Ibra no Milan, and we're not professionals.
Nor do we pretend to be.
So yes, guys, thank you for patiently waiting as you always do. Stevie P here, Vinny T, always Tim. That was a WWE. Bit of AJ Styles. We need to get a bit of, because even Steve's pretending he didn't know, but he knows deep down inside. He knows.
I have no idea what that is.
So guys, we had quite a week here. As you guys may know, Patreon. We started Patreon about a week and a half ago. Up to 20 patrons as of today. My cousin Johnny being the 20th one. We just want to take a time to really say thank you to all. This is really humbling. It's incredible. It's a great feeling. Going from people, from all around the world reaching out, and some people giving us more than the $3 that we wanted. It's a great feeling, and we had our first first special for our patron Steve last Thursday after the game, and we spoke with David, we spoke with the First Lady, we spoke with Gio, we spoke to Tim, who's on the comments right now. It was a nice little good experience for our first one.
Yeah, very nice to interact with everybody.
So
I hate Ricardo Rodriguez.
We had a good conversation, about Ricardo Rodriguez. So a special shout out, thank you to my cousin Johnny, Khalil from Milan Club of Montreal, that donated joined this morning. Ibrahim, Ahmed, Angela, Derek, Steve, Ricardo, Ian, Colin, Dino, Tim, Nick, Francis, Gio, Chicho from New York, Peter Bernardi, Mike, and Sabrina, our first ever. And yes, thank you for making it to the live stream this week, Sabrina. And yes, we do have one of your questions. So, Steve, very quickly, because I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe because Milan is very popular these days, we have lots and lots of questions. So we're going to go through there. And Khalil, hello, Khalil. So, Steve, very quickly about last Thursday, let's just let's touch base on Atalanta's game. I think we agreed that, I know it's kind of hard talking about it, 4 or 5 days removed, but if we were a full squad, I think we would have taken it to Atalanta. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think the game would have been much different. We said it last week when after the match. We spoke with the First Lady and President and Philly and Tim, and guys, I just wanted the best AC Milan against the best Atalanta. Just the draw is good. I'm not gonna. But I'm just a little bit disappointed. I saw Milan in good form. Cards killed us. But I think that game, look, I don't think we would have beat them easily, but I think it would have been a much different game. I think we would have suffered a little bit less. And you know what? Maybe we would have pulled out the win, and we could have been dancing like dancing Gasparini. But
Dancing Gasparini, yeah. And by the way, Steve, now I'm going to use some wrestling terminology for what you have with Angie. You got heat. You got heat with Angie right now because she doesn't appreciate your Ricardo Rodriguez comments. But we had a great laugh about that one there. Look at that smile. How can you go wrong with that one? But Steve, a lot of news this week. I'm not even going to go through because I know a lot of these questions are going to touch about all these different types of news here. But definitely. Let's go straight to, actually, I asked on Patreon if you had any questions, and we had two of them. One of them from Sabrina, and I liked her on this one. It said, if UEFA lets us play in Europa League next season, which I think they will because of this whole postponing financial fair play. How far do you think we could go with this current squad?
It depends what's important to you. For Milan, the importance is the Champions League. Don't think they'll never with this current squad. We're not deep enough to compete in 2 competitions, let alone 3. So you're gonna lose a little bit of progression in Coppa Italia, and you're gonna lose a little bit of progression in the Europa League. And in the end, guys, the main goal and the aim is Champions League. If things change in the season, then they might shift, because Europa League is an avenue to the Champions League. But with this current squad, we're not deep enough.
That's a very I don't think we would go very far. I think they would probably try to concentrate on top 3 in Serie A to make it to Champions League and just get that little bit of money they could get from Europa League. But I think we both agreed this current squad, Steve, like you're saying, playing 3 times a week. Like, yes, it's a good. We're doing very well right now, but that does not necessarily mean that we could keep that going for months and months and months. Correct?
No, we cannot. We cannot.
Peter says, given it seems we have some stability with Pioli, what is a reasonable target for a midfield improvement? A reasonable target. I think, Steve, the way the team has been performing, a reasonable target. Let's go with money wise, right? Would you say, I don't know, somebody between 30 and 40 million is doable? We don't have the cash to go get a 70-80 million dollar midfielder, that's for sure. Tonali, is it reasonable, Tonali? Let's go with that.
If it's 35 million, yes, it's reasonable, and they better beat Inter to get that kid signed. And if that's the scouting that they've done, and that's how much they want Tonali, and if what I read from Sempre Inter or Snake Nima and all the friends, that Inter's 1 step away and Brescia is going to accept the 35 million. Now, the 35 million, is there like a huge clause in this purchase that if Inter buys Tonali and then sells him for more than 35 million, that they're going to need to give some money back to Brescia? We don't know. I don't know what they're giving Tonali in terms of a pay. But again, if it's 35 million, Milan needs to interfere, and Milan needs to come out of there winning. And I think with this current squad and the support that he'll have here he will have much more playing time than he will have at Inter. That's for his development. That's key.
Okay, Steve, let me ask you this: what's your cutoff for Tonali? I don't want us to go through another situation like. Who was it? The PSG bought just for his name escapes me now. $8 million when they were asking. No, they bought him for Marco Verratti, right? They bought him for what in the end, 15 million or something like that, and they don't
12 anywhere between 12 and 15.
12. So what's your cutoff for you for Tonali? What's where I'm not paying this amount?
35-40 million should be the cutoff, because once you get into more, like he is playing at Brescia, and unfortunately Brescia is terrible. Belotti didn't help him out. Cellino, their owner, didn't help them out this year. Look, they've been bad, right? We saw what Inter did to them. They've been bad, and unfortunately, that plays into a factor that Tonali is not really doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? He's constantly playing behind the ball, doesn't have a lot of ball during the game. Distribution to the strikers might not be something that's attracting a lot of attention. So unfortunately, Brescia loses from that for having a bad team. And 35 to 40 million is the cutoff. More than 40, it's a huge gamble, and you better be right.
I like Dino's question. With this current formation, who does he play ahead of? Because we had discussed this
ahead of no one.
We can play all 3 of them: Kessie, Benasser, and Tonali.
Yes.
So who would be our rotating guys? Keeping up Bonaventura, maybe. Like I'm saying, getting to rotate those players. No, Steve, if we're going to go into 3 competitions, we're going to have to go reinforce.
No, the formation rotates, not the players.
You can't play those 3 guys every single game, Steve.
The formation rotates, not the players. The formation.
I'm trying to get him pissed off, guys, just a little bit.
You have no choice, guys. We talked about it last time. You have those three players. They need to play all three at the same time. He has to find a way. He's paid. He wants to be the manager. He has to pay. He has to find a way to play all three of them at the same time, and not starting to put people on the wings and stuff like that.
But at least we said we've been waiting for that strong midfield. Here it is. Go splash some bit of cash, right? Milan Club Philly. Dave goes, and I really like this question, Steve. Ça va venir te chercher, as we say in French. If you could change one result from all of Milan's matches this season, which one would it be?
5-0 against Atalanta. 5-0 against Atalanta, and just that's selfishly wanting to change that. But my real answer probably would be the 1-0 before the stoppage of play for coronavirus against Genoa. I think that hurt us too.
Yeah, that
was a game that should not have been played. I'm sorry, it should not have been played. That's on Serie A, and of course a bit on Milan not for grabbing those points there. But I think that one hurts me a lot. The Genoa one, the 4-2 Inter. Sabrina brings up a good point too. Mm-hmm. But that, to be very honest with you, you know what? Yeah, I would change it because it's a derby. But I'm sorry, that's on Milan, right? You cannot if you want to make it to Champions League, you cannot let a 2-goal lead go away at halftime. That's on Milan. The Genoa, it is on Milan. It is a bit on Serie A. I think that game should have been played, and those 3 extra points, if they were going to pick them up, were going to really help us here going forward, right? Because if you look at the distance, Roma seems to be getting a penalty shot every game, gifted. So it looks like that was going to help us a lot.
I would definitely agree. Like you took the words out of my mouth. Like obviously that Atalanta is an easy one, but that Genoa game, I remember it was me and just Bizak there at the bar, and it was a very heavy loss because it was like, holy shit, that like we're playing Genoa here. It was our first game. It's like, felt kind of weird with Porteghese, and what a difference, guys. Look at that standings right now and put 3 points right on top of what we have right now. It's just that it was really I'm not saying it's the worst loss that we had all season, but era pesante, right? That one there was really like, holy shit! And now this is the last memory that I have for watching Milan. We're gonna see them for 2.5 months. So
exactly, soccer stopped for 2.5 months, and that was the last of Milan that we saw.
Gigi La Patat, how do you explain the acquisition of Krunic and his playing time, 709 minutes, being so close to Bilia, who's not part of the team in the future but did play 702 minutes this season? Okay, let me. Gigi always got the good question. How do you explain the acquisition of Krunic and his playing time of 709 minutes, being so close to Bilia, who's not part of the team in the future but did play 702 minutes this season? I guess because Bilia started most of those games there and had more minutes. Krunic, when was the last time we saw Krunic, Steve? I don't understand. It's not like he did bad, like when he was playing.
Guys, they're 2 different players, right? They're not the same type of player. Depends what Pioli wants. Pioli wants Kessie next to someone who's going to distribute balls. Unfortunately, Bilia doesn't distribute balls, but I don't think that's Krunic's game either. So you talked about rotational players. Krunic falls into that rotational players of the 3 if Tonali does come to Milan, where hey, you can slot him in, and I agree with Gigi. There's no real right answer to why his minutes are so close to Bilia, and Bilia is not part of this team anymore. My only answer and my only guess would be because they're just Bilia's taking usually Benacer's place, and Kessie never comes off. So Kessie, it's up to Pioli to manage Kessie's minutes too, right? At a certain point, like next season, Kessie can't do this. Kessie cannot play every game. We need him, but he can't play every game.
Can we have a minute for frank appreciation? Jesus Christ, this guy. I know we're repeating ourselves. We always used to joke around that at halftime, Steve, what does he do? He just keeps on. He runs to the dressing room, runs around like he does not stop. It doesn't make any sense. And it's not like you see, I'm sure he's tired by the end of the games, but he doesn't show it. Very mature on the pitch. I don't know, like Team Frank. He's just incredible. But like you were saying, Steve, he can't go on like this. Imagine, like, say, if he gets hurt, what do we do? But no, that was our appreciation minute for Frank Kessie.
This is an interesting. Look on the board. This is an interesting question. This is from Vizak.
This is from Greg. I think it's Greg from St. Lucia.
Greg from St. Lucia. I disagree, Greg, totally. There's no. You can. He's gonna come. He's not gonna come to Milan because Inter's offering him Champions League. Okay, that's great. But let's say Inter doesn't play him. What good does that do to his career? You're taking a step front and going from Brescia to Inter a couple of steps front, to be very honest, Joe, and playing in the Champions League, but might not be playing a minute.
Yeah, no,
there's a risk there, right? You have Barella, you have Sensi, you have Brozovic. Teams are going to keep them. Doesn't look like Perisic is going to stay at Bayern Munich. They have to find a new hole for him.
Milan can guarantee him the playing minutes. That's the difference.
Milan can guarantee him the playing minutes, and he's going to play. And you know what? Maybe Europa League is a better. Maybe for his development, maybe, and selfishly, maybe Milan is better for him. Could also be worse. We've destroyed players in the past. You know,
yes, we did.
They've come and we haven't given them time to develop, and we destroy them. But for me, and it's not because I'm a Milan fan, but I think for his development, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Milan. I just don't think, and it's not because I really hate Inter, but I just don't think that Inter is the right step for him.
Totally agree on that one there. Or maybe he can go to Inter for 2 years, Steve. He does really bad. We buy him on the cheap, a la Seedorf, a la Pirlo, and we turn them into superstars. Khalil says, why no big clubs, including Milan, are on Belotti anymore? Wouldn't he be a nice addition to our squad? I started thinking, Steve, why not a guy like Belotti? As a vis Ibra, and I know we're going to get into the Ibra discussion soon, but I think a guy like Il Cairo there in Torino, or that crazy Lotito, when he had offers of 110 million. Was it 110 million we offered for SMS? Something like that, like in two broken things, apparently. And Belotti at one point, did not somebody offer over 80, if I'm not mistaken? You're never going to see those prices ever again. How much, according to you, is Belotti worth nowadays?
I don't know. I would say, again, my limit. Again, on Belotti, what's tricky about Belotti is the progression, right? If I'm not mistaken, Palermo, then Palermo, Torino. Now, there needs to be another jump, right? I like Belotti. I don't mind him. I think he would need some time. And I'm afraid that with Belotti here, he's a guy who needs service. He does create some goals, but, and no disrespect to Torino, because Il Gran Torino was a humongous jersey. The jersey of Torino and the jersey of Milan bear two very, very, very different weights.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You know, we're seeing it now with Torino. It's almost like they've given up. For us here at Milan, look, I have to tip my hat, man. They don't give up, and you know, it's hard. It's hard to deal with Cairo. He's a tough guy to. It's gonna be Belotti that's gonna have to. He's gonna have to push his way, right? And then what do you do with the strikers that we have, right? Again, does that affect Leao's development? Does that affect anybody else that you want to bring up? Where do you play him with Ibra? Does Ibra stay? Does Ibra go? There's so many things. Would he be a good addition? I like Belotti. I've always liked Belotti. I think sometimes he gets lost in a game, but with Torino, he's been consistently scoring. It's either through injury that he doesn't get the goal, 20 goals, not 20 goals there, but he's always past 10. I can welcome 10 goals, no problem. But at Milan, he's going to be asked to do more. So can he take that next step and do more? I don't know.
I ain't paying 40-50 million though for Belotti, that's for sure. Dave's saying Belotti's a big fish.
Hold on. You're not paying 50 million, 40-50 million for Belotti. 40-50 million, Vinny, is nothing anymore. 40-50 million is the 18 to $20 million transfer a couple of years back. The 20 million transfer that we did for Bertolacci is 40 million today.
And if he was going to Juve, it would be 80 million, correct? No, if Juve was selling him, sorry. If Juve was selling him.
Juve was selling him 300 million.
No, but you're right. Sometimes I'm like a lot of Milanistas, Steve. I live in the past. I look at all these. Maybe I'm still playing my FIFA 12 too much and look at all those transfer money. Um, who is this? What do you expect at Milano underscore? What do you expect for Pioli next season? Which rank will be, and why Steve doesn't have a Twitter account? Maybe Steve does have a Twitter account. Maybe doesn't want to mix business with pleasure. Who knows?
I do have a Twitter account.
I know you have a Twitter account, but what do you expect for Pioli next season? Which rank will be at? I know that we're gonna get back to this one because I know even Walks with Lenny sent us a similar question, so we're gonna answer them all at the same time. Should Milan sell Castillejo from at Carolista? Should Milan sell Castillejo? We bought him for what, Steve? 18, I think. Guys, correct me in the chat, but I think it was less than 20 or 17, something like that. I don't know. I wouldn't tell him on.
Salamaker, salsicha maker. He's been okay. Yeah. But again, you want to rotate, and you need those players like Castillo that just never stop running. And if they're going to continue to press the way they've been pressing, you're going to need those guys. And 3 times a week, you're going to need every single Castillo you need. So unless you can make a shitload of money on him, I think he's a good guy that you can put in there. He is fat to the carta because he's always getting hurt.
Yeah.
But, that gives minutes to Salsicha Maker, gives Milan some options in the Mercato. Hey guys, we want to sell. First of all, you got to find 3 people to tango. That's number 1. Number 2, you got to find someone to replace him at cheaper or at the same price. So are you willing to? I'd keep him, to be very honest.
Yeah, and Juan trying to, I think he's trying to troll us, Steve. Bring Olivier Giroud. No.
I know. Juan, guaranteed Juan, he rolled something. He lit it up.
He smoked.
I don't need Giroud. I don't want Giroud. Giroud's good for the English Premier League where they can't make a 3-foot pass.
Thoughts on the potential Benacer Jorginho deal, which is circulating from Serie A scouts.
I love I love these guys. Oh my God, this is beautiful, man.
So now we're getting, Steve. I know you're on the websites a lot more than me. So basically, we're having Jorginho join Milan. Is this what I'm hearing?
Yeah, straight swap.
Straight swap.
Jorginho, and apparently Frank Lampard is Jorginho doesn't fit in his plans anymore. Look, I like Chelsea. I like Chelsea, and they have a soft spot for me. One, because I love Russian people. They're the best. They're just like they love to flex their muscle and their power. I love the fact that Chelsea was always the English team that gave Italians a chance, gave Di Matteo a chance. Look to Serie A to see, a little bit, give Francesco Zola a chance. Guys, give Vialli a chance. There's something about that club, and I like their strategy with. Unfortunately, it's not the best for all youth players, but they collect all kinds of youth players. They flex their muscle. They get them into Chelsea. They bring them through the academy. They send them out on loan, and they make money of that. And look, you're gonna lose a De Bruyne, you're gonna lose a Mo Salah. But you're going to win championship, and then it's going to be already interesting. It's going to always be interesting. Benacer, I don't know where he would fit in Frank Lampard's system there. Yeah, he has some pretty interesting midfielders, but Jorginho, for Benacer, that was just classic. Would I entertain that? I don't know. Jorginho seems like a guy who needs certain people around him as well, right? So it would be interesting to see. It would be that ball-moving vision guy that we needed in a long time. Am I willing to sacrifice him for Benacer? I don't know, man. That's a really, really tough question, man. I would not be able to answer it.
No, not even me. That's a really hard one. From our friends Vonko, there's no need for Ask Vinny and Steve questions today. As you said, there's tons of stuff to relish, and just let us do that with our 2 maestros. No question from my end, nothing. Not zilch, only want to listen and enjoy. Well, thank you, Zvanko. I'm
Wait
gonna
a second.
go.
Wait a second. Akbar. We have to set
What are
Akbar.
you saying, Akbar?
Jorginho is trash.
No, Akbar.
Akbar. Ma per favore. Akbar, I love you guys. I love you guys, but look at the game. Stop listening to these English pundits who don't know. They know they've played the game, yes, but he sees the game like we always needed someone to see the game. He's one of the few that could still put in a through ball. He does so much work. He does so much work without the ball, and unfortunately, the EPL they don't have that camera yet. They don't have that vision yet. So that's why everybody says Jorginho's trash. I just think the EPL is not for Jorginho because the EPL is much more athletic. There's always someone on him on the ball. There's always there's people running at you left and right. You're getting balls in very awkward situations because we all know the English can defend, and that's what causes people to say Jorginho is trash. But I will not accept Jorginho's trash because he's far from trash. He's a very, very intelligent player.
Lenny says, I got a question. What happens when Turtleneck starts off the new season poorly? Obviously, the break helped clubs like Atalanta and Milan and seemed to hurt others like Inter, Lazio, and Juve. Was this Milan a fluke? Oh, and by the way, Lenny, congratulations on your 9th Scudetto. That's how much.
No, you have no choice. You have to congratulate him.
I clapped. I clapped. Leave me alone. I fucking clapped him. I congratulated him. What else? I want to throw him a fucking party?
No, it's not. But you can't be a sore loser. What I'm clapping at is great job, Inter. Great job, Lazio. Great job, Atalanta. You did sweet fuck all for another year. I can't wait till Milan is better and in better shape and more stability because I'm really convinced that it's one of the Milanese clubs that's going to take the dethrone Juve, and they better get better fast. And I hope it's Milan.
What he's saying is that it helps some teams like Atalanta and Milan, and did not favor some like Inter, Lazio, or Juve. And I was asking if this was a fluke. I was looking at this and I was trying to think of maybe this is a blessing in disguise. And here's the way I see it. When we came back from COVID, Steve, we were not in the mood that we are right now. Things were not looking great. Ragnarok, yes, it's a done deal. All of a sudden, the team starts playing well, this and that. Pioli seems to be, has a grasp on the team. And with this whole Ragnarok, Ibra wasn't staying. And, even though Steve will always say we never believe anything that we see until it's actually official, but to me, it was starting to sink in. Yeah, Ibra's not going to stay, especially after that interview. Now, all of a sudden, right, was this a blessing in disguise that maybe not playing in front of fans maybe took away from the pressure? The time that this team needed to gel for whatever reason at the end of the season happens now. Pioli gets re-signed for the next year. Ibra turns around, and from everything we've seen on the internet so far,
they took a helicopter. They brought back a little bit of Berlusconi to us. They jumped on a helicopter. I was so excited. Honestly, I thought it was Berlusconi was flying the helicopter. That was gonna put the cherry on the cake.
But if going back to him saying, "Is this a fluke?" I don't think it's a fluke. I think I would call it a blessing in disguise. I don't know where you stand on this whole everything seems, Steve, from the game against Spal, right? Everything went, let's say, didn't go our way that whole game, and we could have very easily lost 1-0, right? 2-0. And in the end, everything went, I don't know, it's just like everything is aligning for our team that we've been suffering for the last fucking 9 years. A blessing in disguise? What do you think?
I don't think it's a blessing in disguise. I think it's what Milan has needed for the past couple of seasons. Giving the coach some time to understand his players, understand what they can do, not have them out for a national team, and not have them have a proper training camp. It's basically they started a new season. So how I looked at it is I don't look at it as blessing in disguise. I look at it as time for Pioli to prepare. Example, unfortunately for Gianpaolo, it didn't work. But Gianpaolo didn't have the tools, not all the tools that we have now. He had some, but not all. And the biggest tool that he was missing is Ibra. That's why I need and I want him to start another full season with Milan, because I want to see how Milan comes out of the gates. Traditionally, traditionally, we have, for the past couple of years, we've lost and dropped stupid points at the beginning of the year because we're not prepared. These points are the difference between us in Europa League and us in Champions League. So I want to see them be prepared. I call it a blessing in disguise, because it gave us a little run. I want to see Pioli and at least the manager now. We got rid of Gattuso, right? So example, we got rid of Gattuso. We started again with Gianpaolo. I wanted to see maybe Gattuso continue half of the season or the full season this year, but it didn't happen. Was he going to bring us to Champions League? I don't know. But let's start with a coach.
Thank you, and I think that's why I'm really going with this whole Ibra. Like the Ibra staying, and it looks like he's going to stay. What else was I going to say? It's just like, yes, just give us a whole season, and don't fire him after 10 games if he doesn't do well, right? I'm not saying Gianpaolo we did because it was a brand new one, but in the end, like, just give us this chance and don't give up at the first problem. Ibra, yes, people might say he's going to be 39 in a couple of months. People keep on talking about age. People thinking about age. And you know what? Dino Zoff won the World Cup at the age of 40, did he not? And this was 1982. Crazy. He won the European Cup in 68 and won the World Cup in 82. Guys, don't give me this bullshit of age. Some of us are built differently, and Ibra might not have had the best games in the last couple of them, but it's the mentality factor that he brings in, and we're going to keep on saying it until he leaves. Hopefully, he just stays as a coach. Miguel the Milanista says, do you think Hakan is benefiting from the Nocerino effect? Once Nocerino learned to play with Ibra, he became one of the best players on the team, and to an extent, Boateng. Hakan, prior to Ibra's arrival, was mirrored in mediocrity, and we kept making him play. I don't know if it's I think, Steve, maybe not the fact that Ibra's taking attention away from Hakan. I just feel like he's just playing with more confidence. His shots, Steve, do you remember when he used to take shots? He used to scream and yell because he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. All of a sudden, he's on target. He's playing. I don't know. Like, do you think it's a Nocerino effect?
I don't think it's the Nocerino effect, because I think he's more talented than Nocerino. Nocerino just works very hard to get into the right places. Boateng too, much more talented. Not than Hakan, I'm saying than Nocerino. Nocerino just, Ibra attracted so much attention. And remember, that's a very young Ibra, younger Ibra. So you could imagine how much attention he was grabbing then. With Hakan, to be very honest with you, it's not the first time that we see this, right? We've seen it last year. We've seen it the year before. The second half of the season, the pressure's a little bit lighter. We're not fighting for a Champions League spot. We're in this Europa League battle. It's a little bit more digestible for him, and he's scoring some goals, right? But for me, I need a full season. Not again, we said it the last time. There's no player that's going to play a perfect full season, and I get that. But the Calhanoglu that we're seeing now, I'll take. But again,
you're not convinced yet. He's going to have to do a lot more.
I'm not convinced, and I'm getting worried because I'm seeing 4 years, 3.5 million. That's a 4-year gamble, and we just went through a 3-year gamble. He didn't really give us that much. So, like, where's this pay raise coming from? You understand? I think they need to be tough on that because we're not going to. I don't want to get into the Mexas making a ton of money and the Bilia making a ton of money and not doing nothing and sitting on the bench. Montolivo sitting on the bench making a ton of money. Those are those types of contracts that screw us over.
David wants to ask, when COVID is finally over, will you guys continue to do the show remotely, or will you be back at Vinny's place? Right now, Steve, we're enjoying ourselves here. For Steve, it's a lot easier, but yes, we're obviously going to get back together. This used to be our little therapy session. Edwin saying, what do you guys think about being number one in penalties given this season? 177 versus second place at 148 La Liga and third place, 92 at the Premier. Don't blame the refs, blame the fucking system. You know, the rules are flawed, guys. I think we've, you know, people want to jump on Juventus's back every single time about the penalties, but if you rewatch most of those penalties, guys, most of the penalties, it's the rulings that are the problem, not necessarily, you know, the refs being bought. But no, definitely, this should be a big factor. Steve, 177 to 148. I think he wrote, holy shit, that's quite a big difference. Change the rules. Ryan says, would you renew Giacomo Bonaventura? Why or why not? So, to my knowledge, Steve, he does not want to renew, or he didn't make any efforts to renew.
I don't know. This week we said maybe there's a turn of events. Maybe they will resign him.
Would you? I would.
He has to understand the role. That he's going to be coming off the bench for 30 minutes. If he understands that, yes. If he doesn't understand that, unfortunately, we're going to have to split and say goodbye.
I like that.
The show is over. Say goodbye.
Trolusconi, what if Ragnarok comes and fills Boban's place? And
Trolusconi. This is the best. Where after the show is come.
What if Ragnarok comes and fills Boban's place and works closely with Pioli, Maldini?
Ragnarok is not coming, Trolusconi.
I would call back Boban. I'd call him back.
No.
I'd call him back and go, come on back. No?
No. Unfortunately, not.
Maybe Gazidis called and said that he was sorry.
I seriously doubt it there, but unfortunately not the way he left. He's going to have to wait a bit if he ever comes back. And again, what role and what there. But Ragnarok, guys, Trolusconi, we saw. Ragnarok wanted to be everything. They gave him the option. They said, please, come, do whatever you want to do, but leave the coach alone for at least a year. He said no. He wanted to do everything. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of teams that are going to give one guy that much power. We talked about it on Thursday. Was it Thursday? Friday? Talked about it on Friday. There's two guys who got that power. One was Sir Alex, and the other one was Arsene Wenger. We saw how it finished with Arsene Wenger. And you know what, Sir Alex? But both guys didn't just come in and get that power.
No.
They stayed there for so long that, you know what, at a certain point, they needed to have that power. Because they were winning trophies, they were competing, they were constantly in Champions League, and maybe it was a good thing, maybe it was a bad thing, but nowhere else have we seen that type of power.
Maybe we should contact our friend Anthony Lopopolo when we trolled him into saying that the Ragnick was coming, and then Frank from New York was saying notizie del Canada. Oh man, we had a good time reading all those articles and people, not specifically to Anthony there, but like, you know, from people saying it was a done deal, it's a done deal. And how many times do we have to repeat it? We saw Biabiani with a Milan jersey picture. We saw the Tevez jerseys being printed. Guys, until it's official, Milan don't fucking believe shit. Ian Ferraro, with the renewal of Ibra looking more likely, do you stick with Milan's current attacking midfielders? What do you think of Leao, Calhanoglu, Rebic starting behind Ibra? Salchicha Maker off the bench, renew Bonaventura. So Leao, I think, is the one that needs the most work, Steve. Rebic is Rebic, and if he continues on, guys, he's going to have to take some sort of dip at one point. Right, Steve? I don't think...
they're going to take a dip, and Milan Twitter is going to say, send them back, we want Andrea Silva, right?
Exactly.
Look, that guy, guys, let's get, again, I'm going to tip my hat to him because I wasn't crazy about that in terms of when he came. He looked lost. He looked a bit out of whack. He looked a bit uncomfortable. And, of course, coming from, the thing that frustrated me the most about Rebic is that he did play in Serie A. He played with Fiorentina, you understand? Maybe not for long, but he did. So, the not being used to it, like what we usually use with Paquetá, where he's not used to Serie A, that couldn't have been an excuse for him. It's been a long time that he hasn't been in Serie A, but I wanted a bit more. But man, has he turned it up, because he's been ice cold. He's been ice cold. He's a killer, ice cold killer, has absolutely no, exactly, like no emotion when he scores. And it's honestly, I would love for him to leave it like that, because if he would have emotion, it would not even be him. The thing with Leao, guys, is Leao. Unfortunately, I've been a huge admirer of the actual talent, the raw talent of Leao. I think it needs to be developed, but I also think that he needs to move his fucking ass. Because if you're 18, or however old you are, and you're coming in for a 40-year-old, you better be running your ass off, and he's not doing that.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's taking too many touches in the final third. Maybe he's not listening. He's doing stupidity on Instagram now too. It's almost going the direction of, unfortunately, I'm going to give Milan Twitter some credit now when Milan Twitter called him Niang 2.0. It's going to that stupidity. He's going that way. Someone better bring him back. And I hope it's Ibra, and they better bring him back, because if you spend that kind of money for a Niang 2.0, we have some serious problems.
At how do you say Sigurdur? Thoughts on why Milan looks not trying hard to compete with Inter to sign Tonali, as many reports said, as we just discussed that. I should basically maybe read these questions beforehand, but hey, we're not professionals, and nor do we pretend to be. Will Milan, at Fabio 3785, will Milan spend any money this summer on starting caliber talent? We need a new right back, right wing. Do we get rid of Conti or Calabria? For the moment, I wouldn't get rid of either of them, Steve. Especially if we're going to need to Niang 2.0, Traore 3.0, like good one, Steve. I wouldn't get rid of any of them. Now, I want to talk about, though, we're talking about a lot of always these questions, players. Let's forget the fact that we got this money for Suso, right, Steve? Today, was it yesterday? Aston Villa might want to sign Pepe Reina and give us $7 million.
So
and we got him for but Giuseppe Reina, we liked him. It's like for $7 million for sure.
But I like him too, but I don't like his salary.
Yeah, that's the only problem for there. But at $7 million, that would not only help us save some money and the transfer, because we got him for free, right? So that would be a pure profit. But other than Tonali, Steve, any other, let's say, names for you that you've seen, because you are the Mercato madness guru, because you see all these different articles. Any name pop up and then show me slide.
There's too many names, guys. There's a name all the time. You know what I ask people? The best thing to do, if you want us to talk about Calcio Mercato, send us in these names. What do you think about Dumfries? I've never heard of Dumfries. He's a right back, and you're gonna.
You guys know probably more than us.
Not only that, not that though, but it's hard to evaluate these guys, because for me there's a criteria. I need to know where he's played. I need to know where he's coming from, age, of course. But there's something, unfortunately, that we cannot tell you. Dumfries. I know he's from PSV, but the Holland League and the Serie A are two different leagues.
Like, tell us about a Serie A player that we can see week in, week out. We can give you some sort of opinion, and we don't want to talk about a certain player or do like the masses and just read stuff, right? Yeah. Like Ragnick, Steve. Did we ever make an opinion about Ragnick? Because we had no idea where the fuck this guy came out from, right? And to me, it was just don't believe everything. And then it's like, we got a nice message. I got a nice message a couple of weeks ago from somebody in Austria, and he's trying to explain to me where he was coming from. But it's hard for us to give a judgment on somebody that we do not know or have not seen play in Serie A.
Yeah, Dumfries. I'm saying it for David. Yeah, probably. I'm sorry, David. I know you're dying there. Tim saying he's good. Unfortunately, I don't watch enough PSV. I'm not a guy to go on YouTube or Google Dumfries and pretend that I know what he's doing. Same thing with Paquetá, guys. I never heard of him before. Went online, saw some YouTube videos, just see what he can do. But in the end, I need to give him time. And unfortunately, we've seen he needs the time. Does he have enough time at Milan to prove what he can do? I'm not 100% sure.
And Francesco here from Facebook giving us all these different names. You know what, guys? How about you guys become our official scouts? You could be our scouts. You can report back to us, and we can report to the Milan Weekly podcast. But tying into this question, Steve, Paolo, Eggs and Pancakes says, What are some struggle players like Paquetá or Leao have to deal with moving countries and leagues? Have we seen this before with players in the past? Feels like Leao doesn't want to play for us anymore. We're talking about these players coming into Serie A and dumb fries, como Katsagan. It's not every single player that could adapt, 100%. I'm sure if I would go take a look at what Kaká looked like his first 5-6 games in Serie A, I'm not sure he was the phenomenon that he was. Or, not like you need to be at a certain level to adapt yourself to a different culture, a different language, a different, different system. You're saying that Leao and Paquetá. Do you remember any players, Steve, and said, let's say, especially a Milan that came and just all of a sudden it's like, no, this is not the, even though they were good in their own leagues? Anybody come to mind? It's like, guys, these questions are good, but it's true. It's not a done deal. Once you come to Serie A and look at Ronaldo. Don't tell me the Ronaldo of last year is like the Ronaldo of this year. It took him time.
But it depends how far you want to go back. You understand? Like Sheva came from Dinamo Kiev and didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, that's true. But Sheva is world class
player. You understand? We're talking about world class players, and we're talking about dumb fries. You understand? Like I can't give you an opinion for that. This is a fantastic question right here.
Do you think Laxalt is good enough backup for Theo? We can't start him all the games next season. I would get rid of Laxalt and keep Calabria and Conti, but Laxalt, you know what I don't understand, Steve? The guy's he's a starting player on his national team, right? He was a starter all the time at Torino, was he not?
Torino sucked. There had no one else to put there.
But his braids are nicer than Leao's, that I could give him that much.
Yeah, but he's always had braids. Look, is he good enough to be a backup for Theo? My answer is no. Is he better than Ricardo Rodriguez as a backup for Theo? Absolutely, yes.
No, he's not.
Yes.
Ricardo Rodriguez is better than Laxalt. Come on, Steve. Come on. Maybe Angie stopped listening because you heard her feelings about Ricardo Rodriguez. I'm with you, Angie. I'm with you. T. Pepperoni. Good day, boys. How optimistic are you for next season with Pioli? What areas of the team do you personally think need improving? So, I think we keep on talking about this every single week, but I think Pioli for next season, given the time to really, test. You got heat, Steve. You got heat.
I love it. I'm calling it the Fanta family is really pissed off at me right now.
Yeah, and another Patreon special where it's going to just be you and them too. I think Pioli's going to have maybe a better chance, Steve, because you're not going to have this long break, between Serie A restarting. Supposedly, they were talking about September, if I'm not mistaken.
They might as well just never stop. Just start again.
As to point. So I think expectations. Even if we look at Hakan's interview today, Champions League has to be, the target, but I think maybe next year that's going to be their target. Because at the beginning of the year, we didn't really have Champions League as a target, right, Steve? It was more Europa League, right? Coppa Italia. We never really did under Gianpaolo. Even at the beginning, did we say we want or the target is Champions League, or did
Milan's target needs to be Champions League all the time? If they say no, they're lying to themselves. And it's just to create a safety net for a season like today.
So no, I don't think. I think only me and Angie like Ricardo Rodriguez. I think it's that. So we're getting a lot of hate, but guys, I'm sorry. That's going to be the next poll: Diego Laxalt or Ricardo Rodriguez. Who would you pick? I think that's going to be the next one there. What else do we have? I think we went through all these questions here, Steve. Let's talk. By the way, I don't know if I wanted to alarm you. But Presidente, I think he hacked into the Patreon. I think he says he wants to start posting articles. I go, Presidente, please make sure that it's exclusive stuff that people are interested in. And I think he wants to post about the financials of Serie. So, guys, we apologize. We apologize in advance. And on that note, Steve, we will be giving out as soon as we get, possibly after the game of Wednesday. We have a white training kit, extra large, and for just an extra large, we want to give that out up to when we get to 25 patrons, or an 8x10 signed by Presidente. I don't know what they're going to go for, but definitely check out. We're going to be posting that stuff there. Ricardo passed back Rodriguez. Don't give me all this, guys. Come on, man. You telling me you're going to pick Diego Laxalt over Ricardo Rodriguez? Come on, guys. You got to give me a bit. Oh, Francesco Magrini says, finally, words of wisdom. Maybe he's talking about me, Steve. He's talking about me, or he's talking about Diego Laxalt.
Or it's probably me.
Sampdoria, Steve, on Wednesday, we need to come out a blazing, right? I don't care if we win ugly. We might be due for an ugly win, 1-0, 5-0. I don't give a shit. But everybody's back, right? No more yellow cards. Defidate. We should be back on track there. Sampdoria has nothing to play for, right? So we should be winning this one here. Just want to see a great display from the team and that great chemistry.
Sampdoria is pretty. I think they're safe right now.
I think they are.
Check the schedule.
Yeah, go as you talk. Let me go check over here.
Look, again.
Sampdoria's in 15th at 41 points.
Yeah, they passed that magical 40th point to save Salvezza. Look, they're playing for nothing. No, again, these guys here. There's a lot of people on that team that are playing for a job. Ranieri wants to continue with Sampdoria. Obviously, he wants to work. So look, it's going to be a tough one again because you know how it is with the mid-table teams in Milan. It's always something that bothers me a lot. And I think with everybody coming back from these suspensions that they need to have a good showing. I think they need to kill the game right away and not make it drag and not give Sampdoria an opportunity to get into the game a la Spal, a la whatever the hell we let into games like that. But we can't be dropping points if we want to catch Roma, right? So Roma, I think, has Inter this week. No, not Inter this week. What's Roma playing today?
Let me see here. And
whoever Roma's playing, we know they're going to be winning 1-0 because they're always getting a penalty shot.
So. Roma is playing. You have Inter Napoli tomorrow, and Roma is fixtures. Roma is playing. I think we should always look at the guys on. Dove cazzo è sta? Wow. Okay, Roma, where are you guys? Who's Roma playing? Torino, Roma. Thanks. You see, that's why we have these fantastic fans. And to Gigi Lapatat asking if we take yearly payments on Patreon. To be honest with you, I don't even know how that would work. We just have that $3 a month kind of thing. Some people decided to give us more. Hey, we appreciate it, but maybe you should send this message on WhatsApp or on Facebook. I have no idea how the Patreons that I subscribe to is a monthly thing. But thank you for asking. And Frank says that he would like an 8x10 of Presidente, but in a George Costanza pose. Remember that one there when he got caught at the Photoshop, Steve. But guys, honestly, I love when you guys interact. We hit 40 live viewers. It's been a while. We appreciate it. And then, Steve, we do have these last two games, and Milan will be playing. Milan will be playing on
Samp and Cagliari.
And that will be on a Sunday. So maybe we should get together on Sunday. Maybe we'll do something, social distancing. But because then if you guys think we're not going to be doing podcasts after that, well, there's plenty of material during the off season, as Steve loves to go around. And we never stopped, did we, Steve? Never stopped.
No.
All right, guys. So, guys, again, thank you so very much for participating, for you guys on YouTube, even on Facebook. Talking lots of questions. We're going to try to do something different for the last couple of games, and then, like we always say, no worries. Maybe we might take Presidente wants us to take a vacation or anything like that. We're not taking no vacation, and we apologize ahead of time for if ever you see some financial articles made by Presidente himself on the Patreon. It's not us, guys. It's not us. Steve, any closing words?
I want Milan to win, man. I want Milan to catch Roma because I think Roma's form in the second half of the season has not been at the same level as Milan, and I think it would be a good achievement to catch Roma. I don't know if it's possible. We saw the Roma, I think, is playing Torino, who I think has given up, and then they're playing Juventus, who I don't know what are they gonna be. Are they gonna be up for that game against Roma? I don't know. We'll see. But it's gonna be hard to catch. But I want them to win.
Thank God we have our guys here. That guys, I'm sorry, I'm completely out of it today. Our feel good moment and our brioche. Thank you, guys. You know, we do have interns. We have like these 40 live interns. Steve, any brioche moment that you've seen this week in Serie A or in this world of soccer?
For me, to be very honest, it was really, really cool. My feel-good moment of the week is Donnarumma and Ibra leaving by helicopter to go see. Obviously, I think they're going to see Raiola to talk about Milan. Guys, all jokes aside, my feel-good moment is the Ragnarok stuff is over. I think, I hope, and I think that Milan, the management, are somewhat on the same page, and if maybe during the summer and the Mercato will be on the same page. The next soap opera that we have to deal with is what's going to happen with Maldini, which I hope he's going to stay after all this. And I want to go into the summer Mercato, as small as it may be, with at least no soap opera lingering, right? With no talk of Ragnick, no talk of unrest at the Milan management. On the same page with their coach, going in with a coach that has coached them for this X number of games during this crazy year that we've been going through, and will continue to go through. So that's my feel-good moment. I hope that my feel-good moment lasts the whole summer, and that we reinforce Milan and we continue to on this seems to be a potential project. That's my feel-good project.
I hear the guys on the chat saying, like, seeing athletes in helicopters, especially with Kobe. I know Greg was mentioning it before. I get it from that point of view, but it's just that feeling of like Berlusconi when the helicopter used to come down on the pitch. I'm gonna go with Van Basten. Steve, did you see what he said today? He said delete. No, he just said he goes delete. He goes he didn't grow as a player without Chiellini. So just taking a job of Bonucci, saying even playing with Bonucci, he didn't fucking grow at all. Van Basten bocchia delete. Senza Chiellini non è cresciuto. I like it, just giving a nice little shot there at a nice little shot there. And how about any indigestion, Steve, this week? I'm gonna go with Sarri. That just before they won the Scudetto, they were talking about, like, their bad run of games, and he had to mention penalties. How many penalties were given against them? It's like, dude, at this point, whether it's true or not, the way people like to talk about Juventus and penalties. But why do we even bring it up? Like, yeah, but, like when you have these conversations with kids, yeah, but it just seems like it was into this mood of, yeah. And honestly, Steve, do you think he's going to stay next year? I don't know. Non è roba da Juve, as a lot of our Juventini friends say, but it's just the way he conducts his interviews. It just seems sometimes like a very, not confrontational, but a lot of, yeah, but. And yeah,
so fans told my indigestion. The guys, and I really thought that Inter, Lazio, Atalanta were gonna take advantage of a very poor Juve. Let's be honest, guys. The Juventini are not gonna like it, but this was the poorest Juve of the 9 years that has won consecutive Scudettos, and they did not take
like that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they've dropped a lot of points. Like that's an indigestion. I saw the Fiorentina game. That's an indigestion too. I also saw poor Sassuolo did four goals called back on VAR. Right, but 4. Wow, that's crazy.
The rules, guys, the rules. So yeah, definitely. And don't tell me that Lazio and Inter didn't have their opportunities. They fucking had opportunities. Much better, much more opportunities that we've seen from the last couple of years, where people are like, well, they're 12 points and there's 10. No, they were very close and they still managed to fuck it up. And blame even all the rest of the teams. Would it be even Milan in that point that we okay, Juventus is the best, and we're just going to play along and hope for second, third, or fourth. When was the last time you saw a team come out at the beginning and say, "Noi vogliamo il scudetto quest'anno"? Never.
Yeah.
It's always been we
scared to
plan,
say
we
it.
tried. They're just scared to say it. It's
They're
some
scared
balls.
to say it, and you know what? Now they're gonna be scared to say it in the 10th. We're gonna see. I'm
With the
interested to
Conte
see
thing again.
also. I'm also interested to see Juve's Mercato this summer. I'm just curious.
That should be interesting to see, definitely. But guys, again, thank you to Gigi. Thanks to Faz to giving us to making us remember about the digestions and the feel good moments of the week, guys. Once again, thank you so very much for joining us directly an hour, just answering questions. We still we love seeing you guys. Just it's like a couple of guys talking at the bar. We're not journalists. We're not professionals. We're just talking Milan, and we're going to continue doing this because it's been. Steve, if you look at the first videos of Red Card Weekly, that was like 2012, if I'm not mistaken, 2013.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Guys, ovunque e sempre. Forza Milan.
Milan!
Buonasera.